Yo, what is up? How's it going? Unruly here, and I'm back, and I got another video, and I'm just gonna say it. Especially after this episode, I like the Acolyte. Okay, I guess Disney's gonna send me a check any minute now. I'm gonna get paid, but yeah. If you don't know me, I am a bit of a nerd, right? I am a bit of a Star Wars nerd. So here's just two of my lightsabers. I have a third lightsaber. Do I have any battery left in this one?
Low battery.
Oh, low battery. So it probably won't turn on. I got to charge it. And this one's probably out of battery. I'm out of battery in my lightsabers. Okay. Well, anyways, I am a bit of a Star Wars fan. I mean, I have 3 of these bad boys. The hilt is over there, but here's the other blade. Ha! Yeah. Am I a super fan? I mean, jeez, if I have 3 lightsabers, I could say, yeah, I'm a bit of a fan, and I'll go dress up as my own Jedi, Darjan Vex. Heyo, some people even remembered that name, but I'm just gonna say it. Like, I know here's the on. It did start off rough, okay? The show started off a bit rough, if I'm honest, and it's just like a little slow. But here's the thing. I'm actually holy horse, regular coughs. No, but I should give myself something to drink. But the show started off a bit slow, but I was interested in this universe because I'm tired of the Skywalker saga. I'm tired of all those characters. There's been 9 films and some other shows, and I'm like, can we get some Knights of the Old Republic? Can we get something? It was a long time ago. Maybe we can get something 100 years from now. Or now, but we got 100 years in the past. And I'm like, cool. It's not quite the Old Republic, but hey, this is cool. Give us some new characters in this Star Wars universe. Give us some new lore. And I'm going to tell you right now, the hate that this show is getting is kind of exhausting. Look, I get it. A lot of Star Wars fans are upset at the sequels, but I'm not going to go there talking about, look, the prequels are garbage, okay? They're not good. Just because you're mad at the Disney sequels doesn't make the prequels good, okay? They're not. But here's the thing. Star Wars is incredibly hard to, there's almost nothing that is going to be as good as the original trilogy. It's tough, okay? For what it did, it's tough, but you know what will hold a candle to it, in which my opinion, I think it elevates Star Wars in every single way, is Andor. I'm a huge fan of Andor and a huge fan of Rogue One. I enjoyed those films. I enjoyed the Rogue One. It was great. I loved the characters. I loved the Jedi, the guards, or the Jedi temple guards, and man, I'm telling you, that movie made Vader terrifying. If that was the first Star Wars film you saw, then you saw the next one, and then you saw Darth Vader, you'd be like, oh my God, Darth Vader is terrifying. It was that scene alone, I like the whole movie, but that scene alone elevated Star Wars even higher because it just makes Darth Vader scary as hell. You see that and you're like, God damn, he's terrifying. That there was like a horror film at that part, and it was the coolest you've ever seen Darth Vader, in my humble opinion. I don't think, maybe in some of the comics, but whatever. Awesome. But yeah, Donnie Yen's character, oh, awesome. And then Rogue One. All right, we're going to get back to Rogue One, even though I'm talking about the Acolyte. Rogue One, here's the thing. A lot of people think it's peak, but I have some friends that are hardcore Star Wars fans, to the point where they have tattoos and sleeves and stuff like that. You are. They didn't really like Andor. You know why? Because there was no Jedi and there was no, you know, Mandalorians and no lightsabers. But to me, Andor is the best written and the best acted Star Wars has ever been. That, and what I like most about it is, well, here's the thing: Jedi are boring. They are basically Catholic priests with superpowers, and they're also policemen. They're not really allowed to have emotions. They're not allowed to have love interest. They suppress their other emotions to be space police. All right, that's what they are. And you want to know proof? You take Samuel Jackson, who's one of the most charismatic actors. You know, you put him in a film and he's, yeah, and then you make him a Jedi and he's like, the Jedi cancel. You know, the only time he gets mad is like when he's kind of, but like, yeah, man, I want to see a Jedi that's fucking, you know, like the best, like everyone's favorite Jedi is Luke, because he wasn't like trained in the ways of the Jedi, where like, you know, you have to, you know, like, well, even though they did tell him you have to give up your friends, but he was like, nah, F that. I choose my friends. Wow, this is a long review for the Acolyte, but I'm telling you, I love Star Wars. What does this have to do with the Acolyte? Nothing. I'm just talking. You guys want to talk with me? Let's go. But anyways, back to the Acolyte and back to the whole thing why I'm talking about this. It's just because I want to see something different. I want to see, you know, something, and that's why I'm going back to Andor. I'm circling it around. I'm bringing it around town. You know why I liked Andor? Because it blurred the lines on both sides, the rebels and the, you know, the Empire. And with the Empire, you see how terrible they are. But in the end, with the rebels, you see like they've done some pretty nasty stuff in the name of the greater good. And I think that's awesome. I like when things are not just black and white. Like it's like the Jedi and I am good. I have blue lightsaber. I'm bad. I had red lightsaber. I like to see things blended. I like to see things in grays where you could see the bad guy and you'd be like, damn, he's out of pocket, but I agree. And same with the good guys, you know, and you know, like we can point out the flaws in the Jedi, right? Like the Jedi, they want to, you know, take kids and like, well, see, bye, say goodbye to your kids. They're never gonna like, you know, we're gonna teach them how to suppress all their emotions, and they're not gonna love you, and they're gonna be. I'm like, the Jedi are kind of like messed up, right? And the show does kind of go over it, right? They're like, hey, we're the only people allowed to use the Force, right? But then you have this other covenant of witches that use their Force in another way. And oh my God, Star Wars fans, you can't use the Force like that. The Force doesn't work like that. I'm like, the Force isn't real. It's not a real thing. But George Lucas, and I'm like, look, Star Wars was great because of the people that worked around George Lucas, right? George Lucas was the idea man, but if you go look back and how the original trilogy was made, a lot of his stuff was made behind his back, and a lot of people overriding what he said and making Star Wars happen. Star Wars, the original trilogy is great because of the people that George Lucas worked with. The prequels weren't great because George Lucas, he said, yeah, you know, you got to do whatever you want. And he had a bunch of yes men all over. They didn't get to change the dialogue. They didn't get to change this. They're like, yeah, George, you want a character named Jar Jar Binks and is a goofy ass bitch? Yeah, I think it's going to be great. He's going to be the new C-3PO. Hey, you want to have this love story? And okay, we're going to go off because this is what this is about. All right. Here's my problem with the prequels, right? The Jedi are these people that go around and supposed to do good stuff in the universe, right? They're the good stuff. Well, they meet Anakin and his mom. So, hey, should we use our Jedi powers or our Jedi influence to free these two slaves? They are basically slaves. No, so they just um, make a bet to free Anakin. Wouldn't the Jedi be like, hey, this planet has slaves. These planet have people that are owned by other people. That shouldn't be a thing. Do they ever do that? No. They free Anakin, and then later on he goes to like find his mom, and his mom has been killed. Wouldn't it have been better, instead of falling in love with Padme, that his thing to the dark side is because the Jedi didn't do shit to free these people that are enslaved, including his mother? So when he comes back, and like maybe he could be like, hey, I want to free my mom. And the Jedi's like, no, you are attached to your mother. You have to release that. You cannot be bound by the love of your mom. And that is something that the Senate would not approve. And Anakin's like, what the fuck? I want to save my mom. Like, I want to do it. And they're like, no, you cannot. And by the time he goes there, his mom is dead. Maybe his mom was dead. It wasn't killed by the Sand People. It was killed by the Emperor, by Palpatine. But nobody knew that. And then Palpatine can be like, hey, I tried to make it, but a lot of the people in the Senate didn't approve because it was this and that. And I tried to fight to free your mother, and the Jedi did nothing, and it's a waste of time. And then Anakin could be like, yeah, goddamn right, it's a waste of time. I wanted to save my mom. Why did he turn to the dark side? For a promise that I could save my wife? And then guess what? Oh, well, I don't know how to save your wife. By the way, this is a review of the Acolyte. But do you see how much more that makes sense? They could use the Jedi's stupid rule book, and they could be like, yeah, the Jedi are just dumb and they don't do anything. They let my mom die, and it could just been Palpatine pulling the whole strings. And yeah, you're enslaved, and I made it that way. And yeah, look at that. And now you hate the Jedi because they did nothing. Yeah, you see that? But anyways, I like the Acolyte. Okay, it started rough. Okay, it did not start. It kept me interested because I want to know more about this world. I want to know more about the Jedi. And so yeah, like I guess episode 3. Do I give a single F about using the Force or something like that to create life or impregnate, because then that just takes away what from Anakin? And I'm like, who cares, right? Anakin was going to bring balance to the Force. How does he bring balance to the Force? By killing people? Okay, this is a review of that. You know what? Because if you start looking at Star Wars too deep, it don't make sense, okay? It don't make sense. He's bringing balance to the Force by blowing up planets, by being one of the worst dark side users, and then at the last minute say, hey, I'm good now. Let me into Jedi heaven. Oh, yeah, sure. You get into Jedi heaven. You just were stood by when planets were blowing up. You killed a bunch of children. Yeah, go into Jedi heaven now. You're good. You changed your mind last minute. Whatever. Okay. But the first few episodes of Acolyte were like, and I agree that the fourth one was kind of weak because they had a Wookiee Jedi and we never got to really see a Wookiee Jedi. And I think everybody's always wanted to see that, especially in the, the High Republic. When you see a Wookiee Jedi, you're like, oh, that's awesome. And, you didn't get to really see it. The witches and their song, it was a little weird. It was kind of like, all right. But I was, and, the show had a bit of a problem. It was about a 5 to 6, but I'm like, I want to see more of this world and I want to see where this goes. And this last episode really nailed it. Really was awesome. I mean, I'm telling you, it did something cool things that we've never seen in Star Wars, with that whole new metal. And because like when he was doing it and he was like shorting out the lightsabers, I'm damn, what the hell? What was he doing? Did he like chop up the lightsabers? And then later on I learned that it was the metal that was
to tell us from the very beginning
that was messing up the lightsabers, that was shorting them out. And it's actually from the series, from like the High Republic or whatever. And I'm like, damn, that's actually really, really cool. And I know I remember I was watching Jeremy John's review and he hated how that this episode was in the dark and it was in the forest. But to me, I actually love that, right? Because you get the introduction of the bad guy, right? Of the stranger. And it's in this Wookiee planet, it's in this forest. And then when you first see him, he's like through the trees and you can't really see what's happening. And it just kind of reminds me a bit of like a horror film or like The Predator. And he's just cutting through and it's kind of dark, but then when the action sequences kick in, you could really see what's going on. He's messing up everybody. He's using his lightsaber. He's kicking. He's, using his armor in his hand. He headbutts a lightsaber. Like some action sequences that I've never seen before, and they're great. They were awesome action sequences. I was looking at those action sequences and I was like, God dang, those are awesome. And we're going to see them. So if you haven't seen the episode, spoilers. But we're going to go, it's just on Twitter, and this is some stuff. But yeah, so right now, but if you're here, you've probably seen it, or you don't even care to see it, but spoilers. But this whole, boom, that headbutt, using his arm, that was absolute fire. I love the design. Like, man, it's so awesome. Like, boom, the fight scenes were fantastic. That headbutt, that block, it was some of the darkest of Star Wars. Not because it was just dark in a forest, but like he's just murdering people, and the way he does it is so sick. And that headbutt, absolute fire. And here's the thing, this is probably some of the best, probably if not the best, lightsaber sequence in Star Wars. All right, because then a lot of people are, here we go, Kenny gonna bash the prequels again. A lot of the prequel, especially the people are gonna be like, Kenny, you're crazy. But my opinion, don't worry, we can have different opinions and still be friends. I can drink Coca-Cola, you can drink Pepsi, we can be friends. But the battle between Anakin and Obi-Wan in episode 3, it wasn't that great. There was a lot of just weird silliness spinning that just made no sense. There was a point where they were just spinning their lightsabers in front of each other and not doing anything. Like, if you kind of really break down that fight scene, there was a lot of just stuff that was just spinning and doing some moves for no apparent reason. Still a cool fight, but like in this fight, every swing means something. He's not just swinging around their lightsabers and, like there's a scene, you'll see it, and they're just sitting there like for 5 seconds and they're just spinning their lightsabers in front of each other. It seems like they're doing a show for like a theme park when they're kind of doing that. But when you see like this, they're like, if he can't hit them, he kicks them. He blocks with his head, blocks with his arm. It is a beautifully choreographed fight scene. And yeah, it just boom, boom. Oh my God. It is awesome. Fantastic. And I'll give it that. So now I'm even more interested in this world because now I want to know more about this bad guy. I want to know, is he an apprentice? Is he like one of the, they said the Sith have been gone for so long. Is he just, I'm actually interested now. I want to see some more of the backstory. Dude, that one scene where they had the Jedi who was just meditating and he had a force wall. I'm like, that is sick. We're seeing things in the Star Wars universe that we haven't seen that are new and awesome. But other than that, yeah, it started off slow, but man, now it's really kicking, and I'm really interested to see where this goes. I want to know. I want more. Sorry. I want more episodes. I want to know more about the stranger, and I want to know more about the bad guy. It's like I'm already in, and I don't know how many more episodes we got left, but yeah. Were there some problems? Sure. Yeah, but at the end of the day, you know, a lot of people are angry about the Disney, but at the end of the day, I'm just happy we're getting more Star Wars. And it's like that saying, some may be good, some may be shit, right? But there's been a lot of good and there's been a lot of shit, to be honest. You know, hey, I'll be fair, but yeah, and some people are just so mad. But if it wasn't for Disney, George Lucas would have just sat on Star Wars and just be like, yeah, no, I'm done. You guys hated me when the prequels came out. You guys just literally just didn't want to make any more movies because the way he was treated. And now you guys are like, oh no, we loved you. We loved him. I'm like, oh, come on, bro. Whatever. You know me. But hey, if you want to like the prequels, go ahead. Hey, that's all you. But I mean, we got Andor. Like, so how do I rate? Andor is the best thing, the best Star Wars that Disney has done. It goes Andor.
Getting
You.
Whoa.
Surprised.
I know that I myself,
heck?
as a viewer, love a tragedy.
That just started. Yeah, Andor, peak. Rogue One, fantastic. First season of Mandalorian, awesome. I was like, cool, we get to know more. Then what else? Maybe the second season, yeah, you know, of The Mandalorian, where we get Bill Burr, and we get that Bill Burr episode, which is also one of the best acted Star Wars that we've ever got, and the best character, like who's now one of my top favorite characters, is Bill Burr in Star Wars, for that scene where they just go and yeah, so that's pretty good. But Book of Boba Fett was bad. Yeah, like the rest. God, I really stopped caring about The Mandalorian in the latest season. Ahsoka. I didn't really watch Rebels. Sorry. You know, or the Clone Wars. I loved Gendy's Clone Wars. Those were awesome. The Clone Wars show was just filled a little too much filler for me. Sorry, fake fan, right? But other than that, I'm just glad we get more Star Wars, right? I guess technically we did get more Star Wars. Pardon my yawn. Was Clone Wars and all that stuff pre-Disney? I don't know. I just remembered. Oh yeah, because it was Cartoon Network, man. The Gendy, but that was right before. But anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching. That's it for my review. I hope you guys enjoy, and let me know what you guys thought about the show. All right, peace.